A biker pulled up to the curb, parked up and stepped off. Moving her red helmet, she shook out her dark hair. Tucking her lid under her arm, the young woman entered the cafe, fixing the collar on her red leather jacket. She placed her helmet on the countertop and called out the girl behind for service. "Hi, Gretel! Can I have a strawberry milkshake and one of your famous gingerbread men, please?" "Sure, honey. Hansel has just took out a new batch from the oven. I might be able to catch a nice hot one for you," Gretel joked before disappearing into the back. The girl turned until her back was against the counter. She put her elbows on the worktop and leaned back. It was now that she became aware of the guy watching her. She shot him a querying look. "Little Red Riding Hood, haven't seen you in a while." The well-dressed businessman sat at the counter nursing a cup of black coffee. He grinned widely at the girl. "It's just Red now. They don't call me that anymore on account of I grew up," she informed him, rolling her eyes. Yes, you grew up nicely," the man agreed, looking her up and down, taking in her shapely figure. Red was not impressed by his expression or his expensive suit and his lairish gaze. "What about you, Wolf?" she asked. "Heard you got a big promotion. Run your own company now. So, are you still bothering my grandmother? You should know by now that she's not going to sell her land to you. Don't you think it's time you backed off?" "Now, Red, you wound me." Wolf put his hand over his heart in mock. "Do you really think I'm the type to harass a poor, defenseless little old lady?" He smirked at her, but Red was ready for him. "Come off it, Wolf. We both know the only part of that description that fits my grandmother is the old lady." She gave him another bitter smile. "Take a hint and leave my gran alone." "Here's your order, Red. One strawberry milkshake and one freshly baked gingerbread man," Gretel interrupted, holding out her order to the girl. "Thanks, Gretel." Red paid the older girl, retrieved her helmet and left the shop without another word to the businessman. He continued to nurse his coffee in silence until his phone rang. "What is it now?" he growled at the person on the other end of the line. "I told you already. I just have 2 more to buy up and then the building can get underway." "No, the last 2 are stubborn, but I think I can persuade them. They're nobodies, a pig man and an old biddy. As you know, I'm very persuasive. I've already talked the pig's 2 brothers into selling me their land. What's 2 more? Ding dong! The doorbell echoed through the cottage. It was early afternoon, and the sharply dressed man already had a spring in his step as he made his way down grandmother's path. He had been up bright and early and out that morning to pay a little visit to Mr. Hampton, the man he referred to as Pigman. Needless to say, he had not been pleased to see him, but that did not concern Wolf. He was only there to hassle him into selling his property and it had worked. A few well-placed words about structural soundness and well-being, a few treats, a few threats, and then he'd walked out with the deeds. And then there was one. And so here he was, the wolf, quite literally, at Grandma's door. Coming! The old woman's voice came from inside the house. Then the door was pulled open, revealing the lady herself. Dressed in a nightdress, robe, bonnet and slippers, a pair of spectacles balanced on her nose, she regarded the businessman suspiciously. Good afternoon, madame. B.B. Wolf at your service. Here's my card. He held out the business card for her, but she declined to take it. We've spoken on the phone, and I've sent you letters about buying your property. Oh, I know who you are. Grandma squinted at the man, taking him in. And I've told you, I'm not selling. So if you don't mind, please remove yourself from my porch. She tried to close the door, but Wolf managed to slip a crafty foot in before she could. Now, madam, please let's not be hasty, he begged. I have come all the way out here to visit and to speak with you. Can I just come in for a moment to discuss this matter further? No! I've told you 1,000,000 times. My land is not for sale. Granny attempted to dislodge his foot, but Wolf would not budge. I understand, madam, but what if we could come to another arrangement? He coaxed. I'm not interested. The old lady was getting irritated now. She kicked Wolf in the ankle, but he didn't even register it. Please, let me in and we can talk this through. I promise if you let me explain everything to you and you still don't want to sell, I will leave you alone. He was desperate now, almost pleading. You mean no more letters or phone calls? Grandma relented. Yes, Wolf confirmed. And you won't turn up at my door again? No, never again, I swear. Fine then, come in. Granny opened the door wide and welcomed him in. Would you like tea and biscuits? Wolf followed her inside and watched her padding away into the kitchen without a reply. Demented old biddy, he thought. He would be glad to be done with her. He let himself into the living room, making himself at home on Grandma's old sofa. Granny reappeared a few moments later, carrying a tray with tea and snacks laid out. I didn't know how you took your tea, so here is the milk and sugar. Help yourself. She placed the tray on the table between them and sat down in the armchair opposite. Thank you. Wolf added sugar to his cup. Now down to business. If you don't mind me saying, don't you get lonely all the way out here? I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere. You can't get many visitors. If you sold the property to us, I know a lovely place where you could live with people your own age and intellect. You'd have lots of friends there, people to talk to every day instead of pottering around here all by yourself. I'm not alone. I have my birds. She indicated to the 2 canaries that sang sweetly in their cages. And my cat. She's around somewhere. And my granddaughter comes to visit me a lot. Ah, yes, Red. I seen her yesterday. Wolf nodded. She really is a credit to you. Yes, she's my pride and joy. She comes up here all the time, and I have my knitting circle. We meet once a week, here at my house. I also go into town for shopping and for visits, so you see, I have no time to be lonely. Granny sipped at her tea. Besides, I would never sell this house. I've been in the family for 3 generations. After I'm gone, the deeds will go to my granddaughter Red. She's always loved this place. Red is a teenager now. Do you really think she would want an old house like this? Wolf brushed the biscuit crumbs from his immaculate shirt. Teenagers these days are all about being close to their friends and to where there is fun and exciting things to do. Do you really think this is what she would want? Doesn't matter. The old woman dismissed him. I will continue to live here until I die, and then Red can do what she likes with it. Why not give it to her now? And then you could retire to the nice place like the one I mentioned before. The man was persistent. I would hate for you to have an accident or fall and have no one here to help you. I have never had a problem before. The old woman helped herself to another biscuit. Oh, but what if you got ill and collapsed? Wolf continued. But before he could say another word, the doorbell rang. More visitors! I'm popular today! Granny rose from her seat and went to the door, leaving Wolf seething. Stubborn old bat! How the hell was he going to get rid of her? He had to tried to be nice, but that was getting him nowhere. Maybe threats would work? Or maybe he could arrange for Granny to have a little accident? The old lady reappeared a few minutes later with her granddaughter in tow. Look, it's Red! She was smiling brightly. But Red looked grim. So you're here, she stated, giving Wolf a death stare. I've just had an interesting phone call from Mr. Hamilton. He warned me you might come here. She moved closer to Wolf and her grandmother disappeared once more. Imagine my shock when he told me that you had threatened him and forced him into signing his land away. Isn't that what you did with his brothers too? I hope you haven't been manipulating my grandma. I would never! Wolf went into defense mode. How could you think such a thing? I don't know. You tell me. Red stood over him now menacingly, but Wolf was not easily intimidated. He smiled up at her innocently. I think you should get out and leave my grandma alone, Red was fuming. Now, Red, I haven't threatened your grandmother. Ask her if you don't believe me, Wolf dismissed. He put his foot in my door so I couldn't close it. Granny's voice came in as Red turned to look at her. Oh, Grandmama, what a big gun you have! Red grinned. All the better to shoot him with, my dear. Wolf turned a whiter shade of pale as the old woman turned the barrel of her shotgun in his direction. I thought you were up to no good, she demised. Now get out of my house! Don't worry, I'm leaving. He got up swiftly and made for the door. I have never been so insulted. I am not the one doing the threatening around here, He indicated at the gun. No, but I bet you would if I hadn't have shown up. Red glared at him. You're a bad, underhanded person, intimidating others into giving up their homes. And you're crazy. I will inform the authorities of the old woman wielding a gun. I might not be able to get you out of this place, but I bet you they would. Wolf was pleased with himself. He would have the land yet. You still don't get it, do you? Red shook her head in disbelief. Fine, then I'll warn you again. You might not be afraid of my gran, but you should be afraid of me. She smiled unnervingly. You see, I run with the gingerbread gang now. You know Hansel and Gretel, don't you? They killed a witch, all by themselves, cooked her in her own oven, and I have a boyfriend now. He's the son of the woodcutter. They own a wood chipping machine. If you come near my grandmother's property again, you will be in more pieces than Humpty Dumpty, but no amount of glue will ever put you back together again. Looking at the seriousness on her face, Wolf was suddenly uneasy. He slipped out past the two women to freedom. They would just have to build around the unhinged family. He won't get far, cackled Grandma. I've put sleeping tablets in his teeth.